Used test, Audi A1 vs Mini hatch vs Volkswagen Polo. Small cars have really grown up in recent years. It used to be the case that they only worked as a second car, but with more tech from bigger cars and better refinement, small cars have fast become a great way of downsizing without feeling like you've downgraded. The Volkswagen Polo has often been the best example of this, thanks to nicely finished interiors, low road and wind noise and a comfortable ride. But premium brands have been getting in on the act, too. First, there was the Mini, then there was added competition from Audi in the form of the A1. This is remarkable when you consider that the A1 is based on the Polo and the two cars, in the case of the examples featured in this test, use the same engine. Trouble is, the A1 and Polo are outclassed by the livelier performance of the 134 bhp 1.5-liter 3-cylinder petrol engine in the Mini. It may have grown in size over the years and spawned 2 extra doors, but the 5-door Mini hatch still features all the hallmarks of the original car and stands out against its more conservative German rivals. Can the Audi win the day? It has one of the best interiors in the small car class because it's uncluttered, easy to understand and has plenty of classy touches. The engine is very efficient and it has that desirable Audi image to tempt used car buyers. So it comes down to this. Do you go for the sensible option of the Polo, the retro style of the Mini or the brand image of the Audi? Which small car should you spend your hard-earned on? Let's find out. What are they like to drive? The A1 and Polo may be well down on power compared with the Mini, but in everyday use they're nippy enough. You'll still need to downshift through their 5-speed gearboxes if you want a quick burst of acceleration, though, because the 1.0 engine performs best at high revs. However, despite the unit's dinky size, the A1 and Polo keep up with fast-flowing traffic admirably and you can potter around in third gear at relatively low speeds without fear of stalling. There's no denying that the Mini's 1.5 engine is much stronger, though. Acceleration picks up at lower revs and the gutsier mid-range means it can cover the 30 to 70 miles per hour sprint in 9.1 seconds, compared with around 11 seconds in the A1 and Polo. The Mini's gearbox feels slightly notchier than its rivals, but the 6 gears make it easier to keep the engine in its sweet spot. We already know that all of these cars are good to drive. However, the Polo's low rolling resistance Seco tires don't offer as much grip in corners as the tires on the A1 and the Mini. However, the Polo performs well in everyday driving and its light yet precise steering helps the car feel stable whether you're tackling a multi-story car park or running on the motorway. Mind you, the Polo's rivals here are much more fun, with the sort of sharp responses and plentiful grip that make them feel almost like junior hot hatches. Both the A1 and Mini dart into corners keenly, with the latter's quicker steering making it feel even more agile than the A1. That said, the A1's front tires grip harder through bends and its more consistent, natural-feeling steering gives it the edge over the Mini. The A1's standard sports suspension is firm and ultimately makes it the least comfortable of the 3 cars. The softer dynamic suspension was a no-cost option when new to give UK buyers the choice of a better ride and it's well worth seeking out. The Mini is also firm, but effective damping means it remains composed over most British roads. Meanwhile, the Polo is easily the most comfortable, its soft suspension helps it waft over bumps and potholes, although you pay for this relaxed demeanor with more body bounce. All of these cars become a bit vocal when you rev their engines hard, but the Polo is the quietest, the thrum of its 3-cylinder unit is better suppressed and its tires kick up less road roar than the Minis or A1s on the motorway. What are they like inside? If you just want an interior that's comfortable and straightforward to use, look no further than the Audi A1 or Volkswagen Polo. The A1's standard sports seats hold you in place better than the Polo's through corners and it's the only car here with adjustable lumbar support. Both cars have logical dashboards and offer enough seat and steering wheel adjustment to allow most drivers to get comfortable. That's not to say the Mini is uncomfortable. It isn't, but its pedals are offset slightly too far to the right, forcing you to sit at a skewed angle, and the retro dashboard takes longer to get the hang of. The Mini is also the trickiest to see out of because of its narrow rear screen and chunky rear pillars, although the A1 is only slightly better in this respect. The Polo sets the standard for visibility, with slim pillars and big square windows all around giving a good view out, although many buyers will still choose to add the optional rear parking sensors. Two average-sized adults will fit in the back of all of these cars. The A1 has the least rear leg and headroom, and feels the most claustrophobic in the back, while the Polo's wider, more airy-feeling interior makes it the best for those who regularly need to carry more than one passenger. The Mini is the only one with a height-adjustable boot floor, which comes as part of the Pepper Pack and allows you to set the floor so it's flush with the boot lip. It also means there's no annoying step in the extended load bay when the rear seats are folded. So while the Mini's boot isn't the biggest here, it's fractionally smaller than the Polo's but usefully deeper than the Audi's, it is the most practical. Interior quality certainly won't disappoint in any of our trio. The A1's interior is marginally classier than its rivals, if less eye-catching than the Mini's. The A1's standard 6.5-inch color screen is easy to use, thanks to a dial on the center console. However, you sometimes have to double-check what the shortcut buttons do because their functions change depending on which menu you're in. 6 speakers, a DAB radio and multimedia connections are included as standard, with sat-nav being an option when new. The Mini gets a small monochrome readout as standard that's relatively intuitive but does look a bit behind the times. i6.5-inch color screen was a reasonably low-cost option and comes with a user-friendly rotary controller. Sat-nav was another extra cost option and comes with smartphone app integration. It's an intuitive system that's well worth looking out for. The widescreen version shown here as part of a pack and is rare to find on the used market. The Polo has one of the most intuitive touchscreens in this class and all the essential kit you could want apart from integrated sat-nav, which was quite an expensive option. Most will have gone for the much cheaper Carney app, which allows you to mirror your iPhone or Android phone on the Polo's display when connected via USB, so you run sat-nav apps from your phone and some voice control apps through the screen. Our verdict: all three cars puts up a strong case for themselves. The Volkswagen Polo is the most comfortable and cheapest to buy, the Audi A1 is the best handling and most reliable, while the Mini has the biggest boot and the most equipment. But the first to fall is the Polo. The Bluemotion version isn't fuel efficient enough to justify its poorer handling compared with the A1. This version is also difficult to find on the used market and therefore cannot win this test. In SE spec, it might have stood more of a chance. The Mini, on the other hand, is everywhere on the used market, so finding a tidy coupe model with the Pepper Pack should be quite easy. If you have to carry a child's buggy, the extra boot space will be welcome. It'll also outrun the A1, thanks to an extra 40 bhp and a good slug of additional torque. Unfortunately, that additional performance dents fuel economy, making the Mini the most costly to run. Visibility is also an issue, due to thick rear pillars and a small back window. That doesn't mean the A1 walks this test. The Sport variant comes with sports suspension as standard and has an uncomfortably firm ride. This can be improved if the car was ordered with a softer dynamic suspension. What can't be improved is the price. Thanks to its desirability, the A1 is £1,000 more expensive than the Mini. Because of this price difference, victory must go to the Mini. The higher running costs are negated by its lower purchase price, and once you take that out of the equation, you are left with only minor negatives that you will probably learn to get used to over time.